Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this first round of the RST Competizione with RWB International. This is round one. This is at Barcelona. Tiger here speaking, and with me tonight I've got Taz. How you doing, Taz?
Yeah, not too bad, buddy. All good.
Looking forward to this. Jesus, look at it out there. That is wetter than my woman on a Friday. Good God. That is soaking wet out there. I'm hoping that when it transitions into the race, that it will be a bit drier. We'll go through the field in a minute. We've got 7 minutes left of qualifying. Currently in first place is this man here sitting in the pits taking a quick break. Beans just put in a 151.897, which is by no means quick around Barcelona, but certainly is in the rain, that's for sure. Jake Moore in second place in that. I just can't bring myself to say what I think of that. Although, we shouldn't be prejudiced against pink, should we? I mean, for the love of God, look how good the Porsche's done at the 24 Hours at Nurburgring. The pink Audi out there with Jake Speed Demon. Third place at the minute, David Dorr in the Lamborghini. He's just put in a 152.386. Peter Hennenberg in fifth place out there in the Aston. Rigel, the chief track master, swapped into the Bentley, it seems, for Barcelona. He's been favouring the Aston Martin in the endurance leagues, so he's now in the Bentley. Be good to see how he throws that brick around Barcelona. Chris Taverian, I haven't got that name right, very sorry about that, Chris. He's out there in sixth place, just putting a 152.851, 581, sorry, so that's good. Dan Jordan in eighth place. He's just putting a 152.815. Godzilla Kai, used to be known as Banksy Kai. Welcome back to him, back with RWB International after his sabbatical. He's actually your teammate, isn't he?
Yes, he is, mate, yeah.
Right, well, we'll be watching out for Banksy. Great racer, Banksy, and very fast. We'll be looking out for him. We've got Mad Owl out there in the 11th place in the livericious Lexus. They need to get rid of this ridiculous blank they've got on making your own liveries for the Lexus. Get shot of it. Beer out there in 12th place in the Ferrari. Jody Barraclough in 13th place in the Lexus. Gabsy out there in 5th place in the Porsche. 15th in the Porsche. And Xavier Eugeni out there in 17th place in the BMW. We'll leave it on Limpan in 18th place, as we can see him just overtaking somebody there in 18th place in the Audi. There are 46 runners tonight. The situation is as follows. There's no guarantee that this rain will transition into the race. There's a 20% chance of that, however. So it is a possibility this could be a wet race. The race is 90 minutes long, and they must pit during that time, and they must change tyres. There are 50 slots out there, but 25 of these cars can be team cars. So 25 of these out there could well be with a teammate, whilst the other 25 are solo drivers. We'll try and give you a heads up as we go through who's got a teammate and who hasn't. Now, as is usually the case with ACC Race Director, it's not the easiest. In fact, using a scientific calculator blindfolded, walking backwards through hail and try and get the answer of the square root of 14,021,021 is easier than commentating on ACC with this race director. So I'm willing to bet we'll get about 45 minutes into the race, and then actually we'll be standing on our toes, Taz, trying to find out where everyone is. As usual, on your screen on the left-hand side there, you can see the running order. And on the right-hand side, you can see a track map. I think you can see a track map. I'm not sure. Up at the top there, the time left of the session. Bottom right-hand side is the information on the car. At the minute, you can see RWB Limpan. We're hoping that some of the drivers are going to drop into the commentary box tonight. If they do, we'll drag them in and we'll have a chat with them and ask them how their race is going and what they're looking forward to for their particular stint, or what they hated on their own stint, or try and pull from them some sort of tactical information with regards to their team play. Now, a quick bit about Barcelona before we move into the race. Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya is actually its correct terminology since September 2013. 25k north of Barcelona on the northeast coast of Spain. This is a GP circuit, this one. 2.29 miles. Let's jump in the cockpit. 2.29 miles or 4.6k. 15 corners, as we're just now with Peter Henneberg going around Renault corner, this very long sweeping bend, and now with a bit of a back straight here underneath the Repsol bridge into, guess what, an offset parabolica known as Repsol. Coming out of Repsol underneath the gantry here, slight elevation change into Seca corner. Seca corner could be termed as a hairpin, but actually it's an offset parabolica down the hill. Bit of a sweeping right here, flattening off into Worth, or Verth. Through the S left, S right, up the hill, under the gantry, into Campsa. 90-degree right. Elevation change again. Oh, someone going off there, just missing him. Down the hill now, on the back straight, underneath the gantry. Now we've got a very, very tight hairpin, La Cassia. Now we've got a S left and right, there we go, then round to the right. Parabolica now at the Sabadell bend. More elevation change, down the hill, braking hard, right-hander here. Small bit of an extension and then into the chicane. Left, right, down the hill, round the final corner, turn 15, New Holland, and then back on the main straight. That's one lap of Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya. There we go. Yeah, 15 corners, 7 left, 8 right. It's got the S, as we said, at T1, which is Elf corner. We're coming into it here. And this is the Elf corner. Bit of an extended S right, then S left. Or S right, then left. Parabolica at T12, Sabadell. And as we saw, an extended chicane at T14 complex, which is actually known as the Royal Automobile Catalunya chicane. Now, this is a fast circuit, much used and favoured by F1 and the MotoGP world. It's a favourite, basically. It's got a mix of fast and slow bends, elevation changes all over the place, really hard on the brakes, especially in this particular sim, and long straights. This is a seasonal winter home for F1 teams in real life. And it's got 11 name locations, as I called out on when we ran through. And there's a possibility of 13 different layouts. It's a good circuit. Not my favourite circuit. Taz, what do you think of Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya?
It's a bloody great circuit, mate. But not one of my favourites.
What sort of times can you put round here, Taz?
My best time round here is a 1:47. That's the best I've ever got, but in this sim. So,
well, in the rain, this guy Peter Henneberg, currently in first, is just putting a 1:51.8. I haven't dabbled around here in ACC, but you will have some sort of idea how quick that is.
In the wet, bloody fast, mate.
Yeah.
That is really fast.
Excellent. Second place then, just while we've got max wait time of 1 minute 10. Counting down. Beans is in second place. Jake Moore in third place. Rigel in fourth place. David Orr in fifth place. Jody Barraclough sixth. Chris in seventh. We got Xerax from Racing Sim Tools, our sponsor for RWB International, and indeed for this league, RST Competizione. We'll try and grab hold of him later on for some heads up on Racing Sim Tools. We've got Moyes in ninth. We got Ryan Winch in 10th. Ben Davis, good to see you back, Ben, after your sabbatical from your rallying. You took a bit of time out after some rally, so good to see Orange back. Dan Jordan in 13th, Xavier Eugenie in 14th, Andy San in 15th, Banksy Kai Godzilla in 16th. 17th, we got Jigsaw Berg. Jigsaw, I'm assuming he's got a motorbike, do you think?
I reckon
GX, GSXR, I reckon. Manau in 18th. Beer in 19th. Nelson Abrunosa. What a lovely name that is. In 20th. Carlos Balanos, who has officially got the best name in racing sim history. RWB Alwyn in 22nd. Carlos Barros in 23rd. Oliver Curtin, who was my teammate at the 12 out at Spa, who's a super wizard out there. Debug, our brother in arms in the commentary box, and also our fellow community liaison in 25th. Nigel Wood in 26th. Dave Crew, who's my teammate, Taz. We're going to be teaming up for Brands Hatch, which is round 2, but he's my teammate, so we'll be looking out for him, clearly.
Awesome.
Rick Binnersley in 28th. Mike Abrunosa in 29th. Zilla, someone or other, in 30th. Rob Woolley in 31st. Pelicano in 32. Charger in 33. Carolia in 34. Flack in 35. Skull. Munching Skull. The Muncher. Munchity Munch. Was also my teammate at the 12 hour in Spa. Great guy. Young fella, very quick. He's qualified in 36th. Fabio in 37th. Proctor in 38th. Sean 60, good to see him out there in 39th. 40, John D. Robert in 41st. Westenberg in 42nd. And you can see the rest there with Gabsy bringing up the rear in 47. Let's go to a wide shot. Helicam, let's go in the middle there. We're going to focus on Banksy car. We can see all 46 cars out there. 90-minute race. It's still raining. They've got a minute 40. They've got this time now to be able to sort their lives out. I wouldn't want to be racing around here, Taz, in the rain.
Ever do
Definitely not. Jesus. Yeah. Although, actually, I did have one race at Nurburgring, and it was absolutely chomping it down. And we also had a race around Bathurst in the sort of light drizzle. And actually, I've done all right. So maybe I'd be all right around here. But I think you really, really need to know the track, don't you? I just don't.
Yeah, you definitely need to know the track in wet conditions. So hopefully the guys at the start take it nice and steady and everyone gets through and then the race begins.
Yeah, I certainly hope so. Crikey. Right, okay, there's quite a few people watching on YouTube. If you've got a question, chuck it in there. Taz will pick it up and feed it into us, or I'll see it, one or the other. But feel free, raise your questions. If you are listening and racing or a number 2, feel free to jump into the waiting for comms room and we'll pull you into the commentary box and we'll have a chat with you. Absolutely, we will. Don't be backwards in coming forwards. This stream is predominantly done for RWB members, so enjoy it. That's what it's been there for. So as the lights are starting to go on now with 12 seconds left to go. Crikey, in first place there, Peter Henneberg, going to be leading all the way that whole straight there. In fact, no, they're in the back. They're just now coming into what is the chicane of the Rota Automobile Club Catalunya. Into the chicane here, round to the left. And then to the right. Now we're going around the final corner, T15, New Holland, before they will form up along the main straight. They're not using the widgets. This is a manual start as far as I'm aware. This is a great shot. I hope we stay with this shot now. As we can see the rear markers now really starting to... And we can still see at the back a good 10 cars coming around New Holland. Peter Henneberg at the front there, coming towards the first corner. Elf. 2 behind him. We can see that. Beans and Jake Moore. Jake Moore in the pink Audi there. Now slipped into third place. Beans up into second. Henneberg maintaining first position in the Aston. And extending away now. Really a great start by him. Beans going wide around Renault, which has allowed Jake to Speed Demon to come in. Surely, let's have a quick look. Yeah, let's jump in. Let's jump in the cockpit. Let's see what's going on here now. Conscious that we've got 50 cars out there, 46 cars essentially. We're not going to be able to capture everybody, and where we can capture as many as we can, we will. I think something's. It almost looks like they've slowed to a halt. So that's not the case, just because we're in the helicopter. Peter Henneberg goes wide. I think a yellow has been called. That's what I'm going to call here, or they're having one warm-up lap. Looking at Henneberg there, he's definitely slowed down, hasn't he, Taz?
Yeah, I've got Banksy in my ear as well, and there's a massive crash at turn 1. Someone didn't slow down or something.
Okay, and we didn't see that, and it's no wonder we didn't see that. And why didn't we see it? Because there's 46 cars. That's why we can see about 8 at any one time. If you are not racing out there, guys, if you're not racing but you're part of a team, and you know what's going on and you think you can add some value to the stream, then by all means, feel free to message me or Taz direct and give us that additional intel so that we can let those people know who are watching the stream to add context. So just to, and obviously some guys are being told to go forward there to go back into the pits to repair. Peter Henneberg in first place currently. In fact, no, it looks like Godzilla, looks like Banksy Kai is now in first place. No, that's not right. Godzilla, Banksy, and someone else has been told to go forward to go and repair into the pits. That's what's happening there. So there's 2, 3, 4 cars going past the leader there. The leader is Peter Henneberg, and these guys will be told to be going forward to go to the pits and repair. Clearly there was a large stack up on Elf that we didn't get to see. That's a tricky corner, Taz, because it's not actually a corner, it's not a bend, it's essentially an extended S. You could call it a chicane if you like, and then into this very fast, right-hander Renault corner. So in these conditions, it's probably no wonder that some people got a bit of a crash there.
Oh, absolutely. It's just if you get it too wide, too fast, you just go wide, don't you, on this track? And I reckon he's probably missed whoever did it. Missed the braking point and skidded wide, unfortunately.
Yeah. And we can see there, can't we, from that shot, which is a great shot, just how fast those guys are having to come round New Holland Corner there onto the main straight. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars in the pits that will be repairing now. And this will be very much down to the race director as to whether they stay at this pace almost like an imposed. Oh, and there's a huge bash at the back there. 2 cars touching each other at the back. I'll see if I can see. Yeah, what's going on there? We're looking at Morpheus there in the Porsche. And behind them, I think that's Cos. Yep. Cos, number 40, in the Aston Martin, right at the back there. Wow. That's the state of the conditions. We've got the 7 cars in the front there, back with Peter Henneberg at the front there. So treacherous conditions out there with this first race. What more can we say? That's racing in real life. That's sim racing. When you add in the variable, 1 in 5, roll the dice, notwithstanding the fact that a dice has 6 sides. But, you've got a 1 in 5 chance. Drive through for Banksy Kai there. You've got a 1 in 5 chance of it raining, and that's the variable for this particular race. So at some point, the race director will tell the lead to make the call as to when to actually start the race. But right now, with 7 cars that pile up at the back there, we've probably got about 9, 10 cars that are damaged before the race has started proper. I think they're still. I think they're still under. I think they're still under a holding. I think they're still under a race, a yellow flag, a race yellow, and I think they're still under a sort of hold position. Can you give any clarity on that, Taz?
Yeah, it looks like they're just bringing up the pack again and just hoping all the drivers who get fixed and that to rejoin at the back.
Yeah, of course. The difficulty is the old what I call the M25 phenomena. The sort of even though progress is being made, there ends up being a start-stop sort of knock-on effect. particularly if the speeds are fluctuating by the front runners. And the front runners are pretty much the first 25. If they maintain a steady pace, then the rear guys will almost feel like they're racing. Let's jump in the cockpit with Mad Al. Let's jump on board with Mad Al. We're on board with Mad Al. Mad Al is actually in 46th place, so he's running last, and you can see, treacherous conditions. He can hardly see anything whatsoever, and he's just going around Sabadell Parabolica now before it extends downhill into Europa Car, the right hand of the 90 right, and you can see the conditions absolutely treacherous. Not being able to see anything, let alone the slowing down of the rest of the pack in front. Meanwhile, so let's do a time call here, Taz. So we've got last place now going around New Holland, and let's quickly jump to first place. We're on the back straight, and here is first place now, and I can tell you now, first place is now coming around Renault. So around Renault corner. So first place is in Renault corner. Last place was just coming onto the main straight. So pretty much from 1st to 46th is the whole of the straight and Elf S's. I think the race has been called now because Henneberg has certainly pulled away now from Speed Demon in second place. Can you confirm that, Taz? So is the race on?
Yeah, it seems on now, mate. Everyone's going full out now.
Good. So we're a go.
Go. What's happened to Beans? He's dropped.
Yeah, quite. Okay, so on the back of Hennibird, looking back to Speed Demon in second place. Speed Demon looking back to third place. Racing Sim Tools, Xerax in the Porsche. Great place for Xerax. Limpan looking back there. Xerax here maintaining a bit of a gap to Xerax. Limpan in fourth place, back to Jan Jordan, to Jody Barraclough. Looking back now, a bit of a battle between Moes and Ben Davis. Into Moes, Ben Davis in the green and orange Bentley, to Chris in the Aston Martin, who's maintained a nice bit of a gap there. Fair bit of time advantage to, I'm just going to call him Carolina. I don't think it is. And you can see there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars there. We've got GSXR, is I'm going to turn him, into the Porsche, the BM of Xavier Eugeni, who is being challenged by Carlos Balanos. Carlos Balanos in the Ferrari, the 488. Carlos Balanos, behind him we've got Abranosa, also in the 488. Ryan Winch in the Porsche, looking back to Carlos Barros, looking back to Debug, our fellow commentator. And just look at the conditions. Absolutely treacherous. Really, really very, very difficult. Great sim for accuracy, this. And just doing this in the dry with 50 cars is difficult. And for those of you who've done endurance races or, 6 hours, 12 hours, or even 45 minutes or an hour, 50 cars, exceptionally difficult. You've really got to have a great deal. You've got to have eyes in the back of your head as much as they are in the front of your head. And we can see Carolina in front of Debug there, four-wheel drifting around Renault. So very, very difficult. Beans down into 18th place. And now is a great time for the race director to mess me about. Thank you. I think Beans is out because I can't select him anymore. So we will double check on that as well in a minute. In with Nige Wood. Good to see Nige Wood. I think we've missed you for a while. I think you've been racing with RL and RLM. So come back to us, Nige. We enjoy you racing with us. Abranosa in 19th in the 488. Rick Binnersley currently in 18th place in the Audi, chasing the Porsche of Nige Wood. Conditions just awful, Taz. I wouldn't want to be out there in that.
It looks treacherous. FX has put in the chat that they started in a thunderstorm, which is the conditions now, and it's expected to last for 30 minutes.
Right, 30 minutes. There you go, folks. 30 minutes worth of this condition. unbelievable. I think this is a much better shot, actually, until we can start to see some battles. Let's just have a quick flick up here now. The race director is going absolutely berserk. Henneberg now out there in first place, just now pulled out a 1:57.7. It looks like... No, that is still raining. No, certainly about that. In second place, Zach from Racing Sim Tools. Just watching Henneberg getting out of shape. But he's hanging out the back of Henneberg. He's not going to let him go, not for nothing. Speed Demon in third place in the pink Audi. Don Jordan now in fourth place in the Aston Martin. A couple of great little battles there. I'm going to go into Chris Trevelyan and jump on board with him. And we can see there in front of him, Ben Davis. He just goes on the outside of Ben. Or no, Ben cuts him off there in the Aston. Holds the line. Treacherous conditions. Really got to make a lot more of a concerted effort. Certainly greater braking distances. Yeah, very good from these guys. This is where your racecraft comes in. You can't just put your boot down and brake as hard as you like. You've got to make a hell of a concentrated effort to make sure that you are braking in good time. Of course, this is in the rain, so very important for those of you who do race ACC that you map a button for your mappings. We're currently who are we currently looking at? We're looking at Chris Trevelyan here, who's in 7th place in the Aston Martin. So, you know, he would want to be on a map of 5, perhaps. The wet map is between 5 and 7. All these cars have got wet maps, and they will have all changed their mapping by now. Simply not doing so will override the traction control, and they'll just be all over the place. So it's all very well having high traction control, but you need to regulate the fuel and the air mix as well, and that's what the mapping does, along with the programming of the gearbox in real life. So you know, mapped in the sim as well. Great stuff. Let's have a quick chat, a quick catch up with the guys at the back here. Cos in 45th place now, chasing Oliver Curtin, or obviously had a problem. Oliver's very, very quick in the Ferrari 488 this time. To give you some sort of idea of a time differential, Oliver Curtin is very, very quick. I don't think he's got a damaged car. He's putting a 207. You know, Peter Henneberg out there in first place, along with Zach from Racing Sim Tools, is just putting a 157. So, you know, hell of a difference there. You know, you're looking at 10 seconds. I think we've got a casualty already. Rob Wally, Morpheus in 43rd in the pits already. I think he's a single driver. I don't think he's got a teammate. We could have a quick flick onto him. Morpheus, let's find Morpheus now. Where are you, Morpheus? Morpheus. Great, I can't find you, Morpheus. It's always handy when someone has there he is, Morpheus. He's a single driver, so he will be on his Todd out there. Robert, RWB Robert out there in 42nd. Robert is also a single racer out there in the Audi. Mad Owl out there in 42nd. Mad Owl in the Lexus. Mad Owl just put in a 204.281, being challenged there by Munching Skull. The Skull out there in the Bentley, absolutely loves the Bentley. And Munching Skull has teamed up with William Woods. William Woods, I'm not sure whether he's racing tonight with Munching Skull. Munching Skull and Munching Wood out there in 40th. Mad Owl, I said earlier on, wasn't sure whether he had a teammate. He's not. He's racing on his own. Flack out there in 38th. Just in 37th now. Lovely overtake there, Flack, from Limpan, who's no easy driver to get past, but clearly Flack very comfortable with the Lexus in this sort of weather. Taz, how's your boy doing? You've got comms directly with him. Let's flick onto him. Let's find him. Taz?
Yeah, he's 34th, mate. He's doing really well. He's just nice and steady. I just told him to keep a cool head and keep it nice and steady, mate. He's doing really well at the moment.
Yeah. 34th at the minute. Now, 34th is not somewhere that old Godzilla Kai there, Godzilla, likes to be. He is very quick. He's a quick racer anyway. So he would not be too comfortable in 34th. So I'm not sure whether he had a problem or something like that. But he will now be driving hard. It'd be worth jumping in pit with him now. Hello, back at Godzilla. How are you? And we can see him there just overtaking what was John D. And old Godzilla will be pushing hard here. So he obviously had a problem, did he, Taz, to go down into 34th?
Yeah, he unfortunately he got hit up the rear on turn 1. He was unfortunately one of them got hit. One of the guys behind him. So he had to come in to do the pits.
Right, well, I know this guy, and I know his ability. So, and someone's just spinning off there in a Lamborghini. Stay there. Don't rejoin yet. It's not safe. 1, 2, 3. Westenberg. I think actually when he did join, it was say there was a bit of a gap there. So give him a break, Tiger. John D. out there in 33rd. Yeah, so, yeah, as I said, you know, I know this guy is a hard racer. He's really quite talented, so he'll be pushing very hard. He's just overtaken John D and Dorr. You know, both of those no slouches, but I'm willing to bet that he won't be in 32 for long. He's got a bit of a time differential to catch up, and what we're seeing, I'm afraid, is about as much use as breasts on a fish, because I've got no time differential here. I've got 0.6, that's half a second to Rigel. Clearly that's not the case. Rigel is significantly further in front. 1.4, no, he's further than that. I'll do a time count. 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, 4 seconds. So race director is about as accurate as a scientific calculator, solar powered, in winter. Rigel, Chief Track Master, out there in 31st. Again, not a familiar position for him to be in. Currently being, I think, challenged by by Banksy Kai, by Godzilla. We're looking at Rigel now. This is very, very... My race director is not telling me what I want to see, to be perfectly frank. Let's jump in cockpit. That's no good. Yeah, and that's no good either. So we're riding with... So we're riding with Godzilla now, who's looking forward to Downs having in fact, that's not right either, is it? Because Rigel is in the Bentley. That is Rigel we're looking at. Rigel in front of Godzilla. Godzilla coming down into the first corner here. Got to be very, very careful in this first corner. Remember, it's not a right-hander. It's almost like an S right then left, you know. So traction 1 minute, and then you've got to fight against the weather and the conditions, the slipperiness of the track, not to push you out to the further edge of Renault corner, Renault bend. But again, Rigel must have had a problem there, I think, Taz, to be in 30th place.
Yeah, it definitely looks like he's had a problem, and so it's close battles though. It's good, clean driving at the moment. It's really good to see in these conditions.
Yeah, can't afford to have anything anything other out there, I'm afraid, than clean driving. Going to stay with these for a little while, just while I quickly have a quick chat with Cos. Cos, good to see you. And it looked like you had a bit of a tumble with a couple of cars after the race yellow was called on the main straight. What happened?
Yeah, well, it's just couldn't see.
Oh, and then we had a big off there by Godzilla, who hit what I think was door, but he's managed to keep it. He's still on track, although off pace. Coming into La Cassia, but I think he's got. I think he's got it there. Sorry there, Cos, screaming
That's
in your ear.
right.
Yeah,
Stay with
go
the
on,
action.
go for it. Yeah. So what happened on that back main straight there? Just the conditions, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's the conditions and the fact that everybody was parked halfway down the main fastest part of the track.
Yeah. Talk to me about Barcelona. Good track for you. You like the track?
Yeah, I've always liked Barcelona, although it's better in a Formula One car. But yeah, it's a good track. It's technical but fast.
And in the rain, such a fast track in certain parts is really going to be quite challenging.
Yeah, it was. That's why I left. I was just going to be a hindrance to everybody, passing, lapping. I kept going off. Didn't have the car set up right for it. It was a disaster. So I thought the best thing is just quit while I'm ahead or behind or whatever.
Well, if someone like you quits, then it's a fair assessment that it's probably not worth delving into. I'm sure you've weighed it up as to whether it was the right thing to do or not. And the important thing is there's still, as you say, 45 cars out there. And in first place currently is Zach from Racing Sim Tools, who I know right now will be doing the jig. Being in that position, being challenged by Peter Henneberg, who's no slouch, and in third place, Jake Morse. Oh no! Disaster! Whoever that was, poor old Zach went straight into the side of him, but somehow has managed to maintain second place as Peter Henneberg avoided that. Take a deep breath, Zach, as well as myself, I think. I don't know whether you saw that, Cos.
No, I'm just going to find the stream now.
Right, okay, so Jake Moore now, Speed Demon, now challenging his race engineer, and Zach goes wide. Speed Demon looking on the inside now, takes Zach and takes that opportunity away from Zach, who was leading there in first place. Wow. He would have been fine had that car not been across the track. Such a shame. And Speed Demon loses traction. Thanks very much, says Zach. All over it like a pigeon outside Greg's. Goes past him and into La Cassia. For our Spanish friends, I know it's not pronounced La Cassia, but that's how I'm calling it from now on. Speed Demon and Zach from Racing Sim Tools, Xerax. These two are racing buddies, and Zach is pretty much Speed Demon's sort of virtual race engineer. So it's good to see that these two are battling it out in second and third. And as far as this guy's concerned, well, you can crack on, because right now I've got, well, I can't tell you how long he's got. In fact, I'll tell you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. At least 7.5 seconds, of which I can't see. Can't see that from the race director. So thanks very much, Kunos. I tell you what, stop investing in updates and patches, and how about doing an update patch for your race director? It's pants. Cool. Right, Henneberg in first place. Let's have a quick rundown. Crikey, we're an hour and 5 minutes in. Henneberg, first place. Second place, Zach. Third place, Speed Demon. Bit of a gap between these two now. In fact, no, what am I talking about? Speed Demon is in second place. Something has happened. Wait. Where is Racing Sim Tools is now down into 7th place. Something's happened there. Not quite sure what. As we see these guys go into La Cassia. In fact, no, it's not. It's Seca corner, isn't it? Of course it is. So, 7th place for him. Let me give you a reality check there. I'm not sure what data you're seeing on the screen. You may well be seeing something different on the stream than I am. That's not our fault, RWB here. That's Kunos. End of. Petition them. I'll do the best I can to give you the most accurate information I can. Currently, Peter Henneberg out there with a 155.296. He's leading. He's already coming across back markers, as we can see. The best thing to do as a back marker is either do one of two things. Either move over off the racing line, very clearly making it the opportunity for the quicker person to go past you, or indicate and move over. You've got indicators on these cars. Press an indicator twice, your hazard lights go on. I have to be honest with you, I'm quite strict with myself using indicators to make sure that if people are lapping me, they know that I know. There's nothing worse than someone stuck to your arse like they've been super glued there, and just applying unwarranted pressure, and just makes it even harder for you to get out of the way, to be honest with you. Peter Henneberg, out there in first place. Speed Demon in second place. We can already see now we're going to start to lose situational awareness now. So Speed Demon second place, now already coming across back markers. Jody Barraclough in third place. Fourth place, Moiz. And already you can see, look, he wants the inside line, but you've got the guy there that he's lapping, not quite sure where he's going to go. Chris Tavarian in fifth place, Don Jordan in sixth place, Zach, who was first earlier on, bit of space behind and in front of him, in seventh place. Carlos Bolanos out there in eighth. GSXR, as I've termed him, is out there in ninth place in the Aston Martin. Nelson Abranosa in 10th place in the 488. Xavier Eugeni, 11th place in the BMW. 12th place, Ben Davis, orange, in that awful liveried Bentley. Carlos Barros in the Lexus in 13th. Nige Wood in 14th. Rob Wally in 15th. And again, coming across back markers. Sean 60, our American RWB brother, being careful in the Porsche, just going past the Aston Martin. Beer 17th in the 488. Debug doing really well in 18th place in the Aston Martin. I'm willing to bet that he's just drove very safe, very clean, and very thoughtful. Lots of situational awareness going on there. He's just moved his sim rig into a new location in his house. Is it the spare room, Taz? No.
No.
Is it in the spare bedroom, Taz?
No.
Is it in the front room, Cos?
Yes.
No. I'll tell you where it is. He's just had a baby, so his missus has said, get in the cupboard under the stairs, Potter. So that's where he literally is, in a cupboard under the stairs. And he spent the past couple of days sorting it out, and he's very comfortable in there and sweating his nuts off. Good for him. So he's out there. 17th place. Well done, Bug. Keep going. Beans has retired. I can see lots of chat going on in lots of chat in YouTube. Taz, you can. I'm going to give you the floor in a minute. Perhaps you could run through that and ask some questions just when I finish going through the field. Mike Abranosa in 18th place. Rick Binnesley in 18th place. Sorry, Andy San in 19th place. I've just found. The gaps have just come up. 3.45 seconds behind him. Charger doing relatively well actually in 20th place. Again, he would have been kept it fairly clear, fairly clean as he's just going around Seca corner. Plenty of space behind him. 6 seconds in front of him to Andy San, and 4.6 seconds, 5 seconds behind him to this man, Tyrion Dave Crew, RWB Crude Cats. So he's my race buddy. I'm a complete turd around Barcelona. Can't even say it. And a turd minor around other tracks. So we've decided that it was best in the interest of the team that Dave went out there and raced this on his Todd. and I will join him at Brands Hatch next week. David Dorr out there in 22nd, just put in a 156.472 in the Lamborghini. Rigel in 23rd, already climbed up. I said he wouldn't be there long, along with Godzilla. Just gone wide around that corner there. Went Mad Al. Don't think he's lapping him, but Rigel keeping it fairly tidy. The Bentley fairly stable, a stable platform to rag, and in good hands there with Rigel. Mad Al in 25th in the Lexus, so clearly the guy we were looking at there wasn't him. Anthony Pelicano, what a beautiful name. Carlos Balanos, you've been demoted. Pelicano has just beaten you with the best name in the entire sim racing world. Dow James. What on earth? Where on earth did that come from? James Downs, who I believe is RWB James, currently running in 27th place. 2 seconds quicker on this stint, actually. Behind him, 1.1 second John D. John D out there in the McLaren. Not a lot of McLarens out there. Andy Sand in a McLaren. We can see that in the leader listing. Oliver Curtin in 29th in the 488. Munching Skull. Go on, Muncher. Go on, my son. Munch. Bit of COVID. Good grief.
Just a quick question before you carry on. If I leave the server, will it affect the...
Yes, stay where you are, Cos.
Yeah,
stay where you are, mate. FX out there in 31st. Again, in the Porsche. Very, actually people say Porsche in the rain. Oh, you don't want to do that. But actually, the engine is right over the rear wheels. So and it turns on a sixpence, the Porsche. So, providing you've got the mapping fairly high on a wet map and you've got good traction control, the Porsche, will do very, very well round here in the rain. Westenberg in 32nd in the Audi, just putting a 159.295. Winch in 33rd. RWB Robert in Audi, flicking through now. Flack in 35th. Carolina in the Porsche in 35th, 36th actually. Alwyn in 37th. RWB Zin in the Porsche in 38th. Van der Valk, that's an even better name than Pelicano. Van der Valk is now the best name in sim racing history. RWB Fabio in 40th place in the 488, who's just putting a 2 minutes and 2:16. Morpheus out in 41st with a 2:03.501. Mohammed Carolina. It's not Carolina. I know it's Carolia, but it's Carolina now. Mohammed just put in a 2:01.740. Gunpowder, our other American friend, he's in the pits, I believe. Although I can't go to him, so I think he may have retired. Wally in the pits, and that should be Gunpowder leaving the pits now, surely. No, I just can't flick onto Gunpowder. I think he's retired. Enzo Beverati retired. Cos in the pits. I think Gunpowder is showing is in the pit, but he's clearly not. So I think he's left the server. That does annoy us. Stay in the server. Right. Back to first place, Jake Moore. Let's jump in the pit now with Jody Barraclough in third place. Jump into the cockpit. Let's ride with him for a little while. Over to you, Taz. Give us a heads up on what's going on YouTube.
Well, there's a lot of things happening in YouTube at the moment, chat. Fortunately for Beans, he was coming around the corner. Joey's just gone under the long-term free, and someone hit him quite hard. That was dumb. And he lost back and then went straight into the wall. Had a lot of damage, so he said sod it. He's a bit annoyed that he's practiced in the rain all week. He's done a lot of practice this week after getting back from work and not even doing a lap, which is a bit annoying for him. And another problem is Gabsy. You can't see Gabsy on the list. Unfortunately for Gabsy, he got DQ'd in quali because he got stuck in the pit lane apparently. So he started on the back, got to 18th, and then got kicked from the game, unfortunately. So Gabsy's out.
Damn.
So there's a lot of things happening in the pits, and just some other guys to having general chat about the weather, about the game in general. So yeah, it's really busy.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? Riding with Jody Barraclough there, he'll be kicking himself right now as he was just coming into Elf, and a load of back markers in front of him. I thought to myself, crikey, he's going fast into there. But there we go. Jody Barraclough in third place, chasing down the Aston of Hennenberg. You only have to look at the time differentials. 154 by the front runners there. We've got Speed Demon in first, 154.9. Hennenberg with a 155.2. And Jody, whose last lap was a 156.5. Right down to the guys who are running at the back, who are putting in, 213s essentially. So, the conditions are treacherous, and the success will be a mixture of a lot of different things, not just their ability and their knowledge of the track. Oh no! Oh, how terrible! Jody Barraclough gets hit by, I think, what was a back marker. It was a back marker that was having their own battle now, as Don Jordan and Chris Tavarian go past. Tavarian now in front of him in the Aston Martin, and Dan Jordan also in the Aston Martin. Jody Barraclough now in third place, being chased by Moiz, which sounds like a dinosaur. Jody Barraclough in fifth place. But 52 minutes, 25 seconds left to go. It's a long old race. Conditions are awful. We've seen people go from first down to 30th very quickly. We saw that in Spa. We saw that in our own 6 hours at Suzuki. Yes, Suzuki, not Suzuka, Suzuki. Moiz is looking, but decides better of it as Jody Barraclough goes into Elf, exits Elf, into Renault, fast right-hander, trying to keep it as tight as possible before this straightens out under the gantry down into Repsol. This offset parabolica, very, very tight into the first element of the parabolica we're in now, and then sweeps on the way out, hence it being offset.
Where's Xerax?
Xerax currently, sorry, I was lost in the lap there. Let's find out where Xerax is.
I don't see him on the leaderboard.
No, we don't see him. He's not on there, which is terrible. He went from first to second to third, and I'm willing to bet his race was pretty much over, with damages on, when he hit that car, that back marker that he ploughed into the side of, which I felt myself. I mean, my knees came up off the floor. Oh! I went, oh! Crikey, Jody there, dicing with the Bentley. And this is the thing now. And I can tell you right now, if you've not done a race with 50 cars around one of these tracks for anything longer than 15 minutes, then try it. Because you will spend an awful lot of time, as much time keeping it on the grey stuff you will spend with situational awareness. And if you're crap at situational awareness, knowing who's the faster guys, where are they, who's behind you, who are you fighting with, and who are you not fighting with, all of that at the same time, the track, the position, the locations, your traction control, your brake bias on the fly if necessary, then you will not survive. Simple as that. You cannot get away with not doing those sorts of things, or you can actually get away with that sort of, with ignoring some of those elements on other sims. I'm not going to say which ones, but you can. You really got to have your shit squared away with ACC, and if it's not, then pull over and just let everyone pass. Because the comment I've just made there, do you want to add something to that?
Yeah, I mean, that's why I left, because, for me to try and claw any positions back, was a waste of time. So I knew I would spend the rest of the race just getting out of people's way, pulling over, getting back on the track after spinning off because the setup was crap. It was just it would have been a hindrance to everybody's race. So get out of it, really.
Thank you. And I'm torn. I'm torn, really. I don't want to take anything away from the race and from the guys at all. This is their time. But I understand exactly what you're talking about there. And the thing is, everyone is racing for position there. Everybody is racing for a position. Otherwise, they wouldn't be out there. It's not a summer holiday. You've got Speed Demon out there in first place with a 154.9. But so what? You've got Rob Wally out there in 43rd, who's just put in a 157.9, who's had a few problems and he's back down there and trying to claw his way through. But the point is that Rob has still got a race to run. It only takes 2 cars to race, they say, and that is absolutely true. But the priority is the priority his race, or is the priority allowing faster cars to go past? And now that's a rhetorical question, because I believe it's a debate. It's not actually something that's clear cut. It all depends on the track, the corner, the speed, their pace, and where that car is that he's battling with. But more often than not, you're going to give way to the person who's faster behind you, and in doing so you will lose time for your lap. And if you are having a close battle, then that person will get that much further away from you. And if you are clawing back time, as Wally is right now, because he's fairly fast as a middle runner, if you are clawing back time, you're going to lose that time by virtue of actually giving that time back, or moving out the way, or allowing a faster car to go past you. There are lots of people out there who say, well, you don't, it's down to the fast car behind you, it's down to them, innit, to get past you, you have to do it safely. Well, that's bollocks, in my view. Absolute rubbish. Yes, it is down to them, yes, sure, but that's not always the case. And those people who say that are usually the people that are not being lapped, or don't get lapped. If you are the sort of person, which is the majority, who will end up being lapped, when you see someone who's fast coming up behind you, you are going to get out of the way to let them pass. And in doing so, you are going to incur, a time penalty as a result of doing that by virtue of slowing down your lap. And so the point being is that for these guys at the back, no matter how hard they push, their race will become harder and harder and harder, and it will feel like they are treading and running through treacle. The only real way to solve it is to have tiered races. I think poor Wally got a right hook there from the back of I think it was gunpowder. Impossible to say, to be perfectly honest with you. A rear marker, yeah. So that's my point. The only way to solve it really is to have tiered racing, pro-am, and that is why perhaps in some other clubs they do that. I know that it's something that the race organisers and the event organisers are looking at, and I know something that it is keen that they may well do for future events. But for this event, this being round 1, it's 50 cars, you're all out there, and you have got mini aliens out there, fast people out there, and then you've got Mr. Average. And the difference between Mr. Average out there and the very quick is about 15 seconds. So Mr. Average is going to have a fun race, but he's going to find it very, very difficult to be competitive. I think that's a very long way of me extending further what you were saying there, Cos.
Yeah, and to add to what you were saying about situational awareness, you have to have the confidence in the first place. If you're going to try and claw it back from the back, you got to have the confidence to be aware of everybody around you, knowing you're probably going to get lapped 2 or 3 times in these conditions. So you've got to weigh all that up. And for me, I didn't feel comfortable. I didn't feel confident. I knew I was going to just screw people's races up. So that's something you have to weigh in the balance as well.
Fair play, Cos. We just see Mad Al there take No, it wasn't. Again, well, it was, wasn't it? It was Mad Al that took Rigel there, but I don't see an update. Again, very, very slow. The broadcasting system is very, very slow. Rigel goes wide into Renault there. Rigel currently running in 20th place. I think some guys are trying to... I think that's Beer on the inside. Is that Beer on the inside?
No.
And no, that is Ufco. Ufco. How have I not seen Ufco? Who on earth is Ufco? I can't let that go, Taz. I've got to find out.
He's a new fellow, joined Thursday night. He did the mini league with us, and he was fairly quick, actually. Steady in the top 8, I would say. 10, definitely in the top 10, so he's fairly fast. He's teammates with... who was it? Let's see. Us. I'll find it in a second. Also, on your question about Zach, his pay is FX.
Right. Okay, so they've swapped. Great. Okay, so an FX is currently very difficult for you all to see. I know, very difficult for us to see as well. FX is currently running in 26th place, as we can see there. So there we go. I mean, that's how easy it is. You know, at one point it was first, then he was second, first, third, second, seventh. He's made his pit stop, though. Again, I've got no signification here whatsoever whether a pit stop was taking place.
It's when the name goes green, mate. You see the one?
The names aren't going green. They might do on the stream, but they're not for me.
Next to the number.
There's a number, and then other ones are green. The orange patch means they haven't pitted yet.
Yeah, I know. Let's not have an argument on the stream. I don't get any of that on the race director, right, guys? I don't get to see any of that. So, you tell me, has FX pitted? He has.
Yes, he has.
Yeah, and he's done a driver swap with Zach, right?
Yep.
Marvellous. Okay, crikey, holy moly. Well, let's jump in the pit with him. Let's see what he's seeing. Well, he's looking back to Peter Peck. On bloody conditions are just awful, absolutely awful. It's a shame, isn't it? You know that. You know what I'd like to see? I'd like to see like a LibRain plugin for ACC that simulates rain a bit better than just a couple of blurred spots on the screen. Some people who don't flight sim think this is very realistic. It's not. I tell them to do two things. Well, number one, get in your own car and go out there and drive at this speed in the rain. FX, keep it together. And secondly, of course, go and get a flight sim and fire up X-Plane 11, or if you're on the Alpha team for Microsoft Flight Sim, see what rain really looks like. I don't think it would be much for ACC to do that, for Kunos to do that. It'd be great to see that. Because actually that screen wouldn't be that difficult to see through. FX currently running in 25th. Right, open question to chat. Anyone you want us to particularly follow for a while? Oh, as FX loses the place to Ryan Winch. Thanks very much, Daz Bright. I can't say that, mate. I can't say your second name. I can't say that. I'm a Southerner. In the UK, and that is just too complicated for me to say your name. I'm very sorry, so I'm going to call you Bratwurst. So Bratwurst, thank you in YouTube chat. Hope you're not offended. Have a sense of humour. We should all have one in this hobby of ours that we all love. Thank you, Bratwurst, for telling me that the race moves in the rain moves in the car. I should know that, but it just goes to show you how many times I've driven ACC in the rain. I tend to stay away from it, although I've only ever had one race in the rain, and it was just one big huge cloud of like what we're seeing at the minute, just a huge cloud. It's just manic, and look at that. FX can see absolutely nothing. You're very welcome, old Bratwurst, calling me teapot. Tiger Teapot. I don't care. You call me Teapot. You call me Teapot. Call me whatever you like. Great. Well done, FX. I'm going to get off because I know he can hear me. It would be wrong of me to put him off at this stage. I know he can hear me because he's also our tech guru and he's streaming it. He needs to be particularly careful coming around here underneath the gantry. Very, very slippery. No dry spots everywhere. Look, everywhere is rain is not being surged off of the track. So this is very, very difficult. But look, FX now looking at Binnersley. I think that's Binnersley in front of him, or is it? Let's see. It is, I think. Let's go on the wing with Binnersley. No, it's not Binnersley. Thanks, Kunos. This is just awful. Right, shout out. I'm going to give a shout out. Anyone in RWB, all you coding gurus, all you cone heads, as we call them, all you cone heads who speak in C++, Python, JavaScript, and everything else, surely you can make a plugin or something which is far more accurate than what we've got to work with at the minute. For the good and benefit of the sim racing community, let's sort it out. And if you know out there's a better way of using the broadcaster system, I want to know about it. Because this is not comfortable, not knowing what's going on, who is where, apart from what I'm seeing here. I've got no data. The data is not relevant. Out there in the Pink Pussy Motorsport, Speed Demon. Out there, Pink Pussy Motorsport now lost first place to Christoverian out in the Aston. Speed Demon undertaking on the inside there, but Christoverian in the Aston now into first place with Speed Demon, who I believe tonight is racing on his own. I believe tonight. Do you know if he's racing on his own tonight, Taz?
Yeah, I think Nepal, his teammate, isn't available tonight, so I think he is on his own. Right,
so Speed Demon is out there racing on his own tonight. So let's have a quick rundown. Christoverian in first place. Jake Moore in second place. Carlos Balanos, who's now exiting the pits in the Ferrari 488, in fourth place. Nelson Abanosna just going past him, going what I believe is around. Let's have a look now. That is we're coming down into Sayat, so into Sayat corner. We got GSXR also in the pits. We got Sean 60, our RWB American brother, out there in the Porsche. Going around, crikey, where are we? Around Repsol, going around Repsol corner, underneath the gantry, down the hill, into Sayat hairpin. Carius Nearing, I got that name wrong as well. Klaus Nearing. Klaus, I'm just going to call you Klaus. Sixth place, well done, Klaus. My teammate, Taz, look at that in the 488, he's up there, seventh place. I'm immensely excited about that. Carlos Balanos out there in 8th. Charger in 9th. He'll be super, super pleased about that. By his own admission, he's a middle runner, and I'm willing to bet his tactic has been keep it clean, keep it safe, stay away from everybody, brake too early, have a full traction control, have a full, 7 map, and just be gently. And that's undoubtedly a tactic to use out there. 8th. Now in 9th place, and Helmet in 10th place. We got GTR Jordan with us. I'm going to hand over to him for a minute. Talk to us about what you've seen so far, about your own race, your experiences so far, the conditions and the general pace out there. Good to see you here.
Hi mates. Oh, it's been sunny. It's been perfect out there.
It's not sunny out there, is it?
No, it's horrendous. I mean, it's actually kind of fun to have a race that different from others. We are currently running in 13. Quite happily. I had a small shunt, but we survived all the first laps incidents, so we are happy.
And who's your teammate, GTR?
Ufko, number 13.
Ufko.
13th place, yeah.
Okay, now, Ufko. Now, where are you, Ufko? Let me find you. I will find you, Ufko. There you are. I've got you, Ufko. I've got your son. We're in cockpit with Ufko. There he is. Yeah, so carry on, GTR. Talk to me. Now talk to me about Ufko. I've never met Ufko, never spoke to him. What's his sort of pace like out there?
He's actually a really, really decent driver. In the dry, he has me in the drive for a second at most of the track. But
Well, he's just put in a 1:55.59, which is comparable with the first place out there. So he really is. He's a bit of a wet master, isn't he? He's all right in the wet.
Yeah, he's a really good driver, and it's especially challenging because neither of us did any practice in wet, so our setup is all dry. I just made up some PSIs on the go before the start, so yeah, it's quite challenging out.
Awesome. Well done, Ufko. Well done, Ufko. You're currently running in 13th place. Keep it off of the green stuff. It will ruin your day, and GTR will be poking you in the chest later on if you come off. So keep it very being challenged there by Oliver Curtin. I've raced with Oliver Curtin in the same team. The man is a super duper guru out there. I wouldn't say he's alien status. I wouldn't say he's sort of mini alien status, but he's very, very quick. So be careful, Ufko.
Yeah, and he really, I can remember driving with him in Misano, and he really liked to race fair, but really, really close, so it could be quite interesting.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. Now, Alwyn, RWB Alwyn, out there in 26th place in the Aston Martin, just putting a 1:57.588. Shout out to you from your teammate, J-Dub, RWB J-Dub. Also known as Jorgen Warbeat, who, if you know anything about sim racing, you know that he frequents a lot of servers and a lot of competitions and leagues, and is immensely talented. So, enjoy your time out there, Alwyn. Be careful of that Aston as it spins around Renault. Who else should we have a look at? Let's have a look at Gabsy. Gabsy is back out there in the Porsche, jumping in the pit with Gabsy now. Gabsy, how you doing out there? It's madness, Tiger. Absolute madness. And what was your last time? 3 minutes and 49 seconds. That is my Welsh accent, by the way, which is bloody awful. But Gabsy, I think he had a problem at the beginning there. Taz, remind us, what was the problem again?
He got up to 18th and then got kicked from the game. So his teammate had to jump in the car as he was in and take over, which was his teammate is actually Joel van der Werk, the one you
right.
Know. And then,
Van der Werk, yeah, who's got the officially RWB's awarded best sim racing name this season thus far.
So he's gone out. Obviously, he couldn't really handle the wet, so he said, "Go on, Gabsy, go back out there." So Gabsy's back out there.
Fair play. Gabsy out there, giving it his best, just done a 1:57.4. His best lap is a 1:56.6. That will be the car's best lap, so that could be Van der Velk and Gabsy out there, 1:56.6. That is competitive to the front three in 39th. So again, quite difficult. But of course, behind him, let's see whether I can jump. There we go. We're looking behind. One of the cars spun off there, but Gabsy holding it together, coming through the last corner. New Holland now coming along the main straight before he goes into the first corner here, which is not really a corner, it's an S, which is Elf. Very tight there, lots of cars going off, very easy to understeer and go straight off onto the tarmac. But Gabsy holding his own there, out there in 39th. Well done, Gabsy. Well done. Cool. Good for him. Who else should we have a look at? Beans. Now, Beans is back out there, isn't he? No, he's not. Why is he showing 18th? Sorry, Taz. Go on, mate.
Let's have a look at your teammate, because he's 4th at the moment.
Teammate, 4th. Yeah, Dave. Dave is 4th. I'm in helmet with... in helmet. Now, I'm in helmet, not in RWB helmet. I'm not in him, giving him an internal examination. I'm in the helmet with Dave Crew, my teammate, who's in 4th place. This is great news for Team RWB Crude Cats. Great news for us. He's just beaten a 156.088. Sorry, no, that was his best lap, actually. He's 9 seconds behind Mike Abranosa, who is 2 seconds behind Klaus Neering, who is 8 seconds behind Christopher Tavarian. So we've seen that front 5 change. You know, we had up there Speed Demon, we had up there Zach from Racing Sim Tools, we had up there crikey, what was his name? Bloody hell, where is he? Oh, of course they could have changed. Yeah, we had Pete up there, and we have had quite a few up there, yeah.
Pete is teammate's second.
Right. Is there any way we can get a weather forecast? We've got 28 minutes left of this race. Any way we can get a weather forecast? Anybody?
Yeah, it's gonna stay this way.
Oh, it's gonna stay this way. And it is chucking it down. Now, what is this telling us? There are no dry spots appearing. The track is not going to get any better. The green stuff there, you might as well put roller skates, or ice skates on. So these guys really are having to race very, very gently. Jordan, what was your what setup did you have in your car, traction control and mapping wise? You immediately changed that.
Yeah, I made the changing to engine map to 5. This is the most aggressive wet engine map. ABS was up to 10, and they ran a 6 traction control with traction cut to 5. So I just got a bit of a slip, so I could sustain the hit in my rib.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So. Oh no! Hold it, Dave. Jesus! Right now, we don't want to commentate curse Dave Crew, do we? Otherwise, a little bit of wee came out then, Taz. Woo, let's move off of him. We don't want to. If I ignore Dave Crew, when I go back to him again, he'll be 3rd. So that's the tactic there. Let's jump in cockpit with this guy. Charger, currently 5th place. Clap, clap, clappity, clap. And I mean that in all sincerity, because Charger rarely is in the top realms of races in general terms, to be perfectly honest with you. And in a field of 50, that is significant. Now, like I said, it will all be down to his preparation, all be down to the fact that he knows the track, all be down to a high map, lots of traction control, gentle on the right foot, plenty of braking spacing, and just racing clean. That will be his primary aim, is just to race clean. He's probably gained a lot of places by picking up his pace and letting other people fall off the grey stuff. And proof is in the pudding. There he is. He's not there through pace alone, and he will be the first to agree with me on that. Although saying that, his best has been a 157. His last was a 158. So really, between 154 and 157, that's pretty much top-end race pace around here.
He hasn't pitted yet, though. Neither has Dave.
He hasn't pitted yet, and I can't see that.
5th haven't pitted yet.
Who hasn't? Right, yeah, okay. Give me in fact, Taz, you know what? From the top, I want you to give everyone a rundown who's pitted. They can probably see, I probably can't. That's probably what it is. They can bloody see, can they?
Chris has pitted in 1st. Lauren has pitted in 2nd. Miranda's now pitting, so he's taking his pits up. Dave, who's jumped up to 3rd, hasn't. Charger in 5th, hasn't. Helmet in 6th, has. Joey Balakov has. Carlos Banaros has. So, Nelson, Abranosa has. Oliver Kinton has. Xavier Eugene has. RW Wrench has. Voodoo Child has.
Voodoo
Child has. And Napoleon is actually in car, so I thought he couldn't make it tonight, but he is, and he's sitting in 14th, so he's obviously Speed's teammate.
And he has pitted.
He
so
has pitted. So,
he's in 14th. So how many people in front of Napone, Taz, have pitted?
he's in 14th. There is 11. 11.
Right.
10 or 11 who has.
Right. Okay. So, and his last lap was a 2:01. The car's best lap was a 1:54. In fact, the last lap was a 2:10. The car's best lap, which would be speed team, is a 1:54. So, significantly off pace. But you know what? That is a good team. That there is a good team. Hold it together. No. Hold it together. 360 and nearly into the wall there. No damage done to the car. Slipped down into 16th place. 17th as rejoining in 16th place now. Okay, calm me down. Think my bladder almost gave way then. Charger is clearly I can see in the pits. It doesn't tell me whether they've been in the pits or not, which is a bit of a shame. The Audi can be a handful, Right.
At the moment, sorry.
Go for it. No.
I think the only two up in the top 5 who hasn't pitted is your teammate Dave and Mohammed Abarosa. They're the only two at the moment who hasn't pitted.
So Dave Crew in the pits now, going for a wide shot. So Dave Crew in the pits, currently in 3rd place. He's got 15. Now Helmet. When Helmet goes past, there he goes into 3rd place. That's Dave down into 4th place. Now we've got a group now. Jody, Balanos, and the yellow of Oliver Curtin. Where is it? Or will Dave Crew rejoin in 6th place and fight against his previous teammate at the Spa 12 Hours, which was Oliver Curtin? We're all in the same team. Oliver Curtin is in a yellow car. Remember that. Now what's it telling me? It's now telling me that he's gone well in front of him. Ridiculous. So I've just had the camera focus on something that doesn't exist. Oh, and he goes off. Be careful of the tyres, Dave. Be careful of the tyres. That's my paint job. Really very difficult, isn't it, in these sorts of conditions after pitting, to maintain the traction and not fall off the track. How long does it take before the cars are back to as sticky as they're going to be in these conditions, Cos?
May I miss that question?
I was going to say, how long does it take in these conditions after a new set of tyres before actually, they're going to be as grippy as they can be?
Well, I don't know. In these conditions, a couple of laps maybe. Depends how, if you fire away really hard and hammer it, you might get them up to temperature in the first lap.
Yeah.
But it's just going to be cooling down all the time, aren't they, with this rain? It's off again.
Disastrous for my teammate. Disastrous. As he does the right thing. Great racecraft and lets other people pass. It's not safe for him to rejoin. That's what you call racecraft, ladies and gents. Don't you hit my car, whoever you are. Took me ages to spray that. Away you go, Dave. Sorry, Dave. I'm going to focus on somebody else.
It looks like Dave's setup, he might have actually not changed his tyres to wets, so he might have actually put some dries on.
That's what I was wondering.
Oh, goodness gracious me.
I think that, but the way he was braking, it just had no grip, so he was just going forward, so it looked like he put some dries on.
Goodness gracious, really?
But I don't know, it's not just the way the car was handling there.
All right.
This was.
Okay. God, I hope not. Because that'll be my fault. It'll be my fault. Tavarian out there just put in a 155.15143, currently in first place. On the wing with him looking back. 2.7 seconds is Klaus Klaus is challenging for second place. We can see him there. Helmet significantly behind Klaus, but Helmet in the Aston in third place currently. Last lap 155.179. Fourth place Jody Barraclough with a 154.936 in the Lexus. Carlos Balanos down the main straight towards the Elf complex here in the Ferrari 488. Last lap 155.283. Nelson Abranosa in the 488 being challenged by that which I know to be Oliver Curtin. In fact, let's jump in the pit with Oliver Curtin. Goodness gracious.
Your teammates in the pit again, Tiger.
2 minutes of the what?
Your teammates in the pit again.
Teammate is in the pit again. Oh dear, oh dear. Oliver Curtin going on the outside, looking at the outside, coming into... but he forces, very cleverly, Abranosa to go too deep on the inside into that corner, brake too late and understeer and go straight off. Good job there's tarmac there. If that was gravel, it'd be a bloody nightmare to get back on the road. Oliver Curtin then up into sixth place. Abranosa out, by the tactician Oliver Curtin there has managed to lose that spot to Oliver Curtin. Winch in eighth place in the Porsche. And old RWB Winch gets the award for the official most boring livery I've ever seen. In fact, that's awful. In fact, if it was down to me, I would take 3 points off of him for such a poor effort in the livery editor. That's really bad, Ryan. Really bad.
Maybe we can just give him the ballast next week, Maybe
he should receive at least 50 kilos of ballast. In fact, what he should receive is a bit of RWB commentary, a bit of commentary. So I'm just going to get my bones dice out and my hemlock and do a bit of witchcraft and curse him for having a poor livery. Into the rack corner, Royal Automobile Club Catalunya. Yeah, you're going to lose it going around New Holland because of all that water on the inside. Who am I kidding? Of course he's not. Very good, isn't he, Ryan Winch? Very, very quick. I'd love to see how quick he would be in, say, a year's time. I think he'll be on Speed's tail.
Didn't Ryan
Renault,
have a terrible skin in the last league we had? He just had a plain sky blue one.
Yeah, it's boring. It's boring. I agree, Bratworth. Solid cover liveries are nice, but it's a Porsche, so yeah, bad car. I agree, absolutely. I like the livery editor. I like the livery editor in ACC, and it really allows you a bit of artistic powers of expression. And even if you're a mong with a crayon, like I am, you can make some good-looking cars. So, back to school with you. Detention for RWB Winch. Detention for the livery school, the livery class. Detention for you, young man. Voodoo Child.
Should there be, like it is a penalty for the worst livery that Winch already got? Should there be an extra point at the end of the season for the...
Absolutely right. I couldn't agree more. Let's look at some of these liveries around here. Voodoo Child. Voodoo Child in the... I think that's the Aston. Yeah, in the Aston. And that's a beautiful job he's done there. A bit sneaky on the inside there by Sean 60. I believe that's Sean 60. Good move, Sean. Good move. Good livery. Look at that. There's a bit of depth to it. Good livery. Mike Abranosa going with the Italian themed 488. Absolutely.
Can I jump to number 13? Mr. Peck. This is
Number
how
number
the-
13. Ufko.
Yeah, well, on the 32nd spot, this is how the mono livery should winch. Take note.
Yeah, I agree. That's not a bad livery, to be honest with you, but grey and yellow, whatever possessed you.
Oh, no. The number 13 is on the 32 spot. Peck, Ferrari.
Number 13. This is number 13. What's happening with my... Okay, number 13. There we go. Xavier Eugenie. Is that what you wanted? Jordan?
No. Peck. Search for Peck.
Peck. Okay. Peck. Peter Peck. Okay, 32. Out there, I believe Peter Peck is RWB Beer's buddy. There he is in the Fiat 8 GT3. He's currently running in 32nd place. Car's best time, 156.955. Peck's last lap, 158.662. He's just jumped up in 31st. Let's jump into the pit with Peck. And there he is there, either challenging, I think it is, he is challenging Tom Proctor. If we go onto the wing of Tom Proctor, yep, there we go, we're looking back at Peter Peck now. Peter Pecker, Picker Pepper, Pepper Pepper. Peter Pecker, Pickle Pepper, Pickle. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickle pepper, where's the peck of pickle pepper? Oh, Peter Piper pecked. Tom Proctor looking back at Peter Peck. Peter Peck looking back. Oh my God, what's going on there? Again, the cameras are out of sync. This is almost rendering. I don't like not having. I don't like being messed around by artificial intelligence. I don't like things that do things when they want it to do it. No. That makes me sound like a control freak. But if you're commentating, you want to be able to know exactly what you're looking at, what the time differential is, what their best lap is, their last lap, who's in front of them, who they're racing with. And it's not difficult to do that other systems can do it. So it just it's a little bit the same for us. 12 minutes left of this race. Do you know anything about this circuit? Anyone? Anyone know anything about this circuit? How old is it? Do you know how old it is?
I'm going to say 90 years.
You might be forgiven for thinking that. Bearing in mind it's Spain, they love their racing, love their horse racing, love their motor racing, they love their rallying. You would have thought so, but actually not. This was built following a suggestion in the mid-80s, and by the time they finished it, it was 1991. First race being a Formula One race. Actually, they had a few national races beforehand, but the first international race was a Formula One. First worldwide race was Formula One. Actually, this circuit, the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya, was where that infamous battle between Nigel Mansell and Ayrton Senna took place. So if any of you are old enough to remember that, then this is where it took place. It's a great circuit, and actually at the time it was a bit of a strategic governmental direction from the local government in Catalan to bring the crowds that were flocking to the current circuit in Spain, which of course was Jerez. And in pulling the crowds in, you pull money in, and if you pull money in, you pull influence in. And in Spain, it is about influence and reputation, particularly for regions, and that pretty much helped the local economy, and certainly put Barcelona back on the map as it wanted to be from what was essentially the early 70s was the last time that Barcelona hosted any major worldwide stage motor racing. So it was a really, really big deal. And as we found out on our journey around various tracks throughout our RWB races, it always seems to be some form of political objective behind building these race circuits. And You know, for anyone who thinks that there isn't, well, yeah, it doesn't take you long to find out that that is the case. 32,000 parking spaces around here. And if you wanted to go there if you wanted to go here and watch the MotoGP or the Formula One round here, there's 4 different ticket sales. I went on the Catalunya motor racing circuit website earlier on this evening before the stream started to have a look at their costs. And the only way to actually find out is to go through the process right up to actually committing. And I was very unlucky because I nearly committed to a 3-day pass for €718. But a 3-day pass and VIP suite on Friday, €718. €465 will give you a 3-day pass on the grandstand. €375 will give you a 3-day pass at the grandstand, but only in the seated area. And that's about your lot. There's actually 2 €465 tickets, but and it's also they also boast a very well-known. They say it's the best one in Europe, but I don't know enough. I should know enough of it, but I don't know enough of it. The best one in Europe, the simulation centre for bikes and cars. I thought the best one was Nurburgring, but interesting. Sadly, in 2016, death around here, MotoGP. Anyone who likes their bikes would have seen it. It was live and was horrific, which was old Louis Salom. Crashed at turn 12 and the air fence, basically. So I'll see if I can catch it as we go around, actually. But the air fence caught the bike, spun it in the air and hit him and killed him pretty much outright. Terrible, terrible news. But like most motor racing tracks, I'm afraid it's had its fair share of injuries, casualties and deaths. That is the nature of motorsport, the danger, where of course it's this is sim racing. No one dies in this, thankfully. So fair play and maximum respect to professional race drivers. But of course, has mixed it with us of late with sim racing and have come and tried their hand. I've got to say that they are dirty. If you're a professional GT3 driver or GT driver or F1 driver, Landos Norris, I'm calling you out. You need to go back to sim racing school and learn how to race. You race dirty. And you don't have any racecraft whatsoever that I've seen. Your shoulder barges, you barge your way through. It's quite interesting on a serious note, it is quite interesting watching professional racing drivers in the sim racing world. They are not as disciplined as we are, in my view. That is, in my view. My view is my view, not the professional view of RWB International. Is my view. If you've got a problem with it, come poke me. But I haven't seen any clean racing out there by professional race drivers, and I've watched pretty much all of them.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Tyke.
Yeah, the problem here is that when their instincts kick in, they cannot have themselves not to realize this is not a real life, this is just a game. And, the egos are strong and they rather die than...
Yes. Yeah, agreed. It would be nice, though, wouldn't it? With all respect, it would be nice for them to respect the fact that for us, being a dirty racer in sim racing is blasphemy. It's abhorrent. It is it's sacrilege. But they seem to do it, don't they? It's quite ironic that we try to emulate proper racing, conscientious awareness, but at the same time being competitive. And then when we get the professionals who actually do it for real life, they come in here, it's like, it's a game, we don't care.
There's Ben waiting in the comms. Should I drag him down?
Drag him in, yeah. Now, we've just had join us Orange Ben Davis. How are you, Ben? All right. Are you with me?
I'm with you.
Right, now, what happened out there? Who's your partner?
Oh, well, I think everyone was caught off by the rain. Didn't really expect that for the first race, but I think we got 13th on the grid.
Right, and who's your partner? Who's your buddy?
He's greeting me out there.
Right, what's his name? Okay, so with Greedy Me now, 16th place. Good to give him some time, actually. He's got his own Twitch and YouTube channel. Go check it out. Greedy Me out there in 16th place. Last lap was 159.991. Best lap has been a 156.559. So again, competitive for the top sort of 10. He's keeping it clean. He's out there in the Bentley. I blame you, Ben, for that livery. Do you know what? Who earlier on did we say, fellas, had the worst livery?
That's us.
No, it wasn't you. It was someone else. Who was it?
It was Speed.
It was Ryan Winch. It was Ryan Winch. Yeah, it was Ryan Winch.
Well.
It was Ryan Winch in the Porsche. Well, we're going to give it to Greedy Me and Ben Davis. What on earth were you two thinking of with that?
I'll tell you what that's a combination of. My profile picture, because it's the orange owl. Greedy Me's profile picture has got that little guy with the lime skin. I don't know what his icon is, but I just took that colour and merged the two, and voila.
You didn't even give it a chrome or glossy finish.
No,
it's just a
I like it.
blurb.
Sometimes it ruins it. It takes away the brightness, so I kept it like that. And that's Greedy Owl Racing now. There.
Right, I'm in complete contrast to you, and I'm going to have you escorted out of the commentary box, kicking and screaming. That is not a good livery, Ben. That is bloody awful.
To be. It's
right, all those in favour of that being a good bloody
your
livery,
attention.
say so in YouTube chat. If that's a good livery, then come on, I want to hear it. God, look, Bratwurst has said, God, that paint job.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Well, actually, I suppose everyone can see you coming, can't they?
Yeah, true. While I'm in here, and before you kick me out, I'm just going to say that everyone out there is doing an amazing job. It is
absolutely, they are.
hell to drive, but my gosh, there's been some amazing racing. It's been absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, and it's a very good point. You know, it's very easy to. None of us here have been detrimental to anybody out there. Of course not. We've remarked how awful the conditions are now. Very, very difficult. It is to race in that conditions. You know, Assetto Corsa, champions itself as the most realistic. Some people either say it is, some people either say it's not. Well, when you've driven a GT3 Bentley around Spa for real life, then perhaps you'll have the kudos to call it as to whether it's realistic or not. And I think it's about as fair. I think it's fairly realistic. Driving by driving a fast, powerful car in real life. I mean, it seems to have traction and lose traction where real cars do. I wouldn't want to race around these sort of conditions. Sim racing around these conditions are even worse. He's going to go off. There you go. Far too fast into the Elf there. But fair play to him. He rejoins the track. Is he going to lose that position to... In fact, no, he won't, because Godzilla is not in the Porsche. So no harm done. Greedy Me now rejoins around towards the end of Renault. Maintains 16th place. Great. Stelling. Out there now then. First place, Chris Tavarian out there in first. Second place, Klaus. Third place, Carlos Balanos. Fourth place, Helmet. Fifth place, Oliver. Sixth place, Abranosa. Sean 60 in seventh place. Mike Abranosa in eighth. Voodoo Child in ninth place. RWB Winch in 10th. Jody Barragloff just gone off there. Will he lose that position now? Being challenged by Dave Dorr. Does he take it from him? I think he has. Yeah, he did. But my didn't update quick enough. Nige Wood in 13th. Carlos Barros. He did take it, didn't he? Yeah, he did. Ufko. He's your buddy, isn't he, GTR?
Yeah, it's been quite an eventful last few.
Now we're going to have to put it on Chris Tavarian, and hopefully I don't think there is an auto. Hopefully the auto director will take over, and hopefully the auto director will take over and will move each one of these. Will follow each one of these guys as they cross the line. Taz, in the last 5 seconds, we've got to say well done to this guy, Tavarian, but also Klaus and Carlos Balanos, the first, second, and third. We'll be talking to them. very difficult to say who was racer of the event because there's so many cars there. We never really had chance to bed in with anyone and see any great battles. There's lots of great battles over there.
For that.
But I'm gonna go on.
I actually want to give a shout out to Moise and Helmet. I mean, we were we were overtaking each other with Moise when we were like 8, 7, 8, something like that, and
Yes.
we are now 13th and they are in 4th. So I think that they are quite good this race.
Very good point. Yeah, I mean, Helmet will finish in 4th, won't he? And he was way back there earlier on at the beginning of the race. I remember being on him for a while, so that's a very good point. Of course, my buddy is down in 41st now. 41th? 41th? He's in 41st, which I think is right at the bottom. Wow.
Yeah, I think he retired.
That's how quick it can happen. Look, what were we? You know, we rejoined in 15th, 16th under the careful right foot of Dave Crew, yet we still are going to finish in. We're still going to finish in 41st. There we go. Tavarian crosses the line, first place. Well done to him. Klaus in 2nd and Carlos in 3rd. Taz, you're going to drag them in here and you're going to have a chat with these guys.
Carlos has crashed at the moment. He's not finished.
Well, when they're finished, you're going to drag them into this room and have a chat with them in 1st, 2nd and 3rd, aren't you?
I would.
Sorry?
Yes, I will do.
Lovely. Thank you, mate. Thank you. Well, look, let's have a bit of an open conversation here. Treacherous conditions, very, very difficult to race out there. Ben, what's been your highlight of the race?
Oh, blimey. I think this is the beginning. I know that's probably quite contradictory because it's chaos, but I don't know, there's something quite thrilling about the start of the race. Everyone's really tightly packed. It was pitch black, and you got to try and just sort of navigate the whole thing. It's brilliant. Yeah,
very difficult. Takes a lot of skill and a lot of skill. As I mentioned earlier on, this isn't just the case of just go fast. You know, you've got to keep your situational awareness. Who are you battling with? Who's overtaking you? You know, how far away? What part of the circuit are you in? Where can you move over and allow the quicker guy to go past if indeed you are being lapped? Incredibly difficult. You've got to keep all that situational awareness, deal with the crappy weather, your crap brakes, and you're braking early and being careful with your mapping, your traction control and everything else. Very, very difficult. And yes, Audi, I absolutely agree. Very well done to Charger, finishing in 17th place. No mean feat. And you saw how high he was up there. He's my racer of the event, to be frank. And although I absolutely agree with you, it's Helmet. Actually, it's saying Helmet finishing 3rd place.
Yeah, I said Carlos crashed. He slid out. So Helmet.
Oh, that's terrible news. Right, well, I'm going to call it Bratwurst. I'm going to call it that race of the event has been Charger, finishing 17th for the reasons I mentioned earlier on. I'd like to hear his take on what his strategy has been for this race, which I'm almost willing to bet £1 to a pinch of has been just be gentle, race clean, etc., etc. And it will be good to hear his opinion and view on how he managed to start relatively. I mean, he was quite a way back and then climb his way. He was in the top 5, wasn't he, at the before he pitted, and then of course came back out and has kept it clean and 17th, which is great. I think Audi raced what?
Sorry to talk over you.
Yeah, drag them over.
And their teammates?
No, yeah, absolutely, drag them in. Ben, Cos, GTR. I think GTR's gone, but Ben and Cos, thank you. If I could ask you to leave us now, if you wouldn't mind just leaving.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you, guys. And off they go. Bless their hearts. Great to have them in. And there they go. And Taz will now bring in Tavarian, Klaus, and Helmet. Racer of the event has been Charger. Purely and simply because of all the thing that I said earlier on in the stream. Now, I'll be honest with you, I don't really like to choose an admin as racer of the event. of which he is one. Debug has done fantastic well out there in 20th. Rigel, where did Rigel go? Let's find out. Rigel. He had quite a difficult period. I can't see him
Bloody
on here. I can't see Rigel on here, wherever he finished. Come on, where are you? Can't see him. Can't see him on there. So something happened there with Rigel. So it'd be good to find out what happened there. In fact, are you just Are you able to drag and drop in the chat, Taz, or not?
I'm going to move him to comms now.
Okay, no worries. Well, look, we'll wait for them. Meanwhile, so I'll tell you what, Taz, if you jump into chat at an appropriate time. Oh, there he is. Bless his. Oh, look, well, Taz is Paul boying. Paul boying people around here, getting them in the channels, etc., which is fantastic. Well done. And I also, so we've got Racer of the Event Charger, which is great. And also, now Rigel may well be doing an end of race brief. For those guys who are in the room at the minute, okay, take a metaphoric glass of water over there at the table. Just talk amongst yourselves quietly. By that, I mean, don't say anything until we come to you. We'll keep the stream clean. Taz, is Rigel busy? And if he's not, then we'll drag him in and we'll get his take on this first race, because there was a bit of I want some clarity on the beginning part for the race director side of things. So if he can come in, that's great. You have a chat with him, see whether he can come in, and I'll pose the first question for you, get you going. For first, second, and third, you've been pulled into the channel by Taz, purely because Taz owns this part. But I want to say, very well done to Chris. Forgive me if I say this incorrectly. Tavarian, is that right?
That's right. Thank you.
Well done, very well done for you, first place. How was the race for you?
Well, it was chaotic in the first stint, but it was battle and everything. But I managed, when people started pitting, I managed to get clean laps. So I think I did some great laps before I pitted, and then came out first and just tried to hold my nerves. But yeah, it was hard.
Wonderful. Well, very well done to you. I'm going to hand over to Taz now, who will carry out the rest of the interviews, and I'll pick up with the race director at the end. Taz, over to you.
First of all, guys, brilliant driving out there in the terrible conditions on the stream. I saw. Congratulations to first, second, and third. Well done, boys, and Charger for driver of the event. Christopher, you're first, mate. Congratulations. First question is, how was it, and did you enjoy it?
And it was brutal. That's the first race I've driven in thunderstorm the whole race, so yeah, that was awesome. Really fun, and yeah, trying to be clean, that was hard, but yeah, super fun racing. Good battles, and yeah, it's just so much fun.
It looked like you were very consistent out there, so very well done in your lap times, mate. Can't fault you. Who was second? Klaus and Peter. Well done, guys. Just another question for second place. How did the pit strategy work? Did it work well for you guys? And how did you guys find it? SM to Peter and Klaus.
Yeah, the pit strategy didn't really work for us. I missed the pit box by 1 meter, so I had to reverse back to change to Klaus. It was a stupid mistake, which maybe cost us the victory. But, that's racing.
So, unlucky, boys. But how did you boys find out there? You seemed to drive really well.
I found it pretty difficult. I've never tried to race in this game in that much rain, really. But it was tough, but also fun racing with Jake, especially. He's a great driver, really. Also, Christopher. Well done.
Klaus, are you there, mate? Let's see if you'll get your input, mate.
Yeah, same as Peter. It's very difficult to drive. I haven't rained that much either. We had a short stint where we practiced in it's like light rain or something like that. We're still on the slicks, but we haven't tried full flood.
Well done, boys. Well done. And third place, It seems like a lucky third place for Moyes and Helmet as Carlos crashed, but well done, boys. And how did you guys find it?
A really tough race in my opinion, because I barely did any practice in the rain for Barcelona, and then it suddenly started to rain like medium in the qualifying, and then there was a thunderstorm in the race. To be fair, I was just really scared, and at the first 20 minutes I just didn't want to crash before doing anything else, but then I felt more and more comfortable when the stint carried on and managed to get some overtakes in before I handed it over to Helmut in the pits. So, and he also had a very cracking drive, which gave us P3 on a lucky note in the end. But yeah, we are very happy about it.
How did you find it, Helmet?
I like the wet racing, but that was severe. I didn't expect thunderstorms at all, but big thanks to Moyes. He did all the work on the strategy and did a great first drive. So jumping in the second stint was enjoyable. A very enjoyable race, that one.
Out of the top three of you guys in any top three positions, or even you, Charger, who was it? What happened at the start? Did any of you guys see what happened? I know, Peter, you were wide up top, but Helmet, Moyes, were you kind of in the battle there?
See
no.
the accident to put us in the yellow, no.
Ah, okay. And also, Charger, well done for your drive, mate. Absolutely brilliant. How the hell did you pull that off? Let's talk about how you did it.
Luck, I think. I found I'm actually not too bad in the rain. I was listening to Xerax last night, Racing Sim Tools. Get it, guys, you need it. But I was listening to some of his pointers, and I picked up on the main ones. So I did a dirty quick tune before obviously thinking it was dry, but it really worked really well for the wet. And I was thinking, I was pushing it and pushing it. I got caught up in that. You were talking about that second, third corner. I got caught up in that, and so I called the full course yellow. You probably saw that on stream. So I was just, get the head down. I was like, right, I'm going to stop halfway. It's going to go dry, and it didn't. So I just kept pushing and pushing and pushing. And I thought, actually, I'm doing all right in the wet here, So I just pushed until the last 30 minutes. What I didn't realise when I went in the pits was I had damage from that incident on the first lap. So I had a 45-second pit stop, but I was also bursting for a pee. So I literally opened the door and had a slash outside the door. That's how bad it was. So I think I lost another 10 or 15 seconds. So I was 30 seconds down, probably in the pits. So, yeah, I think I would have done better. I think I was up to about 5th at one point, but I hadn't pitted. So 19th, was it? I finished. I'm quite happy. Yeah, it was a good drive.
Yeah, you did bloody well, mate. So once again, guys, congratulations for your positions and Charger. Brilliant job, mate. Hopefully next week at Brands, it ain't pissing it down. But
I hope it is now.
Yeah.
I was keeping up with you, Al. I was thinking,
Mate, you were quick. I really struggled to get by you, mate. You were really flying. Again, sorry I blinked you a couple of times. The spray, and I was trying to catch Carlos. I want to say to Carlos, that was a real shame he spun out because that was a close race at the end. But Charger, well done, mate.
No, I did see you coming, Helmet, but I was racing for position in front of me, so I was trying to pick the moment, to let you pass. But I think I did it quite. You got to pass quite nice in that chicane.
You had good pace, mate. Definitely. Bring on
the rain, yeah.
Well done. So Charger then. So there we go. So Charger, bit of a rain master perhaps in ACC. We'll find out when we're next week. Before we go, let's have a final few words with the race director for this, which I believe was Rigel. Rigel, 1 in 5 chance of it chucking it down with rain tonight, and that had to happen, didn't it?
Yeah, but I don't know. I think it was all the better for it. I mean, we've had so much fair weather racing. Some of the more memorable races we've done in this club have been in the rain, and I think that one will probably stick in memory for a few people. About the start, this is a game of millimeters really, because I just got clipped by, I think it was Beer If that hadn't happened, I think we would have very likely got off to a decent start, and we wouldn't have ended up with the royal clusterfuck that we ended up with.
Yeah, and hence the reason why I'm bringing you in to talk about that, because actually, from what actually bearing in mind that we didn't know, and this is something that I'm sure we will refine going forward, but we didn't know that a yellow had been called, but it was very clear that one had. And actually, from very clear instructions that have been given for this league, we also knew that it was likely that you would allow the faster cars to go past and forward into the pits to repair, which they did. And so actually, without even being told, we knew what was happening, and also when the race restarted. So it might have appeared to be a bit of a cluster as a result of those couple of offs, but actually, from what we were seeing, it worked fairly well.
Well, the cluster ended up happening on what was supposed to be the restart after everybody was let past, but a little unfamiliarity with how things are done here, and perhaps a little failing of passing on the details. The leader who came round after everybody had passed didn't initiate a start. He just continued to go round. He was expecting some instruction, so perhaps a little failing there, but with a bit of familiarity and perhaps passing on a bit more instruction and what have you, then we'll iron that out.
Great. Well, look, is there anything finally that you'd like to say, and use this stage to do so, to any of the racers, the event next week, or anything else?
Well, no, just even though it was quite a trial, I think a lot of people did enjoy it, and I for one do relish the ability to race in conditions like this. A lot of people say that when it's flooded and when it's thunderstormed, that no, you shouldn't race in that. No, but it was great fun. It was enjoyable, and I think a lot of people did like it.
Yeah, I'd echo that. I mean, initially when I first saw that, nearly 50 cars going around there, you couldn't see a thing. But the track itself was actually quite sticky. There was a few puddles you had to avoid, but it wasn't that bad. I think people just need to calm down. It's like when you drive your car in the rain at night time, do you really, dart between cars? You can't see shit. So, yeah.
This is not a fair weather racing club. If these things happen, they happen, and you have to adapt and deal with it.
Puts hairs on your chest.
Yep, quite wonderful. Well, thank you, Rigel. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for the end of the race. So, well, there you go. Then that was round 1 in Barcelona of the RST Competizione league that we're running at RWB International. 50 cars, a max of 75 people. 25 of those cars are teams. My own team. As you saw, we didn't finish very well, did we? I think I commentated cursed Dave Crew, and I think he's going to beat me up afterwards. I think that's what's going to happen. But actually, what happened to Dave Crew there was a great example. You can be right up there and then just have one bad incident or one bad off, or not change the right tyres or whatever it was that happened, and you can go all the way down to the bottom there. And I echo exactly what Rigel and Charger have said, probably what everyone in the channels up there would say, and that is that, if all you want is perfect sun and clouds, cumulus nimbus at 1,500 feet, then, well, go into single player. If you want to be competitive sim racing in a league, then this is the league for you. I think it's fully booked, but there'll be many, many more, and it's worthwhile you coming on to RWB International Discord, or go along to our website rwbracing.club and coming on and finding out what the score is. There's plenty of stuff going on. We've got plenty of servers, all an amazing setup. We've got plenty of races, plenty of leagues and stuff coming up. So come along and find out. And I'm going to finish it there just simply by saying thanks very much for joining me. Thanks very much, YouTube. That's been quite busy tonight. And thanks very much, obviously, to all of our racers. 50 guys, 46 cars started. And very well done to everyone who finished, which I think it was pretty much everyone, bar about 2 or 3. Treacherous conditions. How will they do in Brands Hatch, which is where we are next week, and a 30% chance of rain? Will it or won't it? Well, let's find out. Till next time, you know what we say? Don't race alone, race RWB. Bye-bye now.